What's up, nerds? My name's Meredith, but you can call me Mare, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my honors thesis, my magnum opus, the best work that I've ever done in my entire life, and that is, I have ranked every single song on Hozier's new Wasteland Baby album. Now, I have already listened to the entire album, and I have to say, there is not a single song on the album that I dislike. I think the entire album is an absolute masterpiece. It was a gift from the gods. And as a big fan of the album, and someone who loves every song on the album, I feel like it is my sworn duty to pit all of these songs against each other and attempt to figure out which of the 14 songs on Wasteland Baby was the best. These ratings aren't just determined by my opinion, they're determined by cold, hard science. I've used 5 different metrics with which to compare each song, ranking them on a 1 to 5 scale. These metrics are lyrics, music, grooviness, otherworldliness, and that factor that you can find in most Hozier songs that I'm going to call the dead in the woods factor. I have the list of songs right here where I've calculated the score. Number 14 is the song Nobody with a score of 14.5. Nobody is a straight-up love song, and I believe it is the cheesiest song on the album. One of the first lyrics in the song is, "It's gin o'clock when I wake up." And though that is a fantastic lyric, I think in a few years you'll probably be able to find it on a throw pillow at Hobby Lobby, so I think the best lyric in the song is, "At first chance, I'd take the bed warmed by the body. I once warmed my hands over a burnin' Maserati," which is art in its own right. I gave it a 4 out of 5 for lyrics, especially for the gin o'clock and Maserati lyric. I gave it a 4 out of 5 for music because the music is very catchy. It's very good. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 for grooviness. However, it only earned a 1 out of 5 on the otherworldliness scale, and as for the dead in the woods factor, it also only earned a 1 out of 5, leaving it with the lowest score, a 14.5. Coming in at number 13 is a song that also appeared on the Nina Cry Power album, and that is Shrike with 16 points. Now, though I love Shrike and I think it's an artistically genius song, it is the song that I would be most likely to skip when I'm listening to the album. It's really just a sad song, it's mournful, it's almost a funeral dirge, possibly a lament, if you will. I do believe I'm going to enjoy Shrike more when I go through my next intense heartbreak. Looking forward to that. Its lyric score was a 4.5 out of 5. Its music score was a 4 out of 5. Its grooviness was only a 2 out of 5. Additionally, its otherworldliness is only a 2 out of 5. However, it does earn a 3.5 out of 5 for Dead in the Woods factor. Number 12, coming in with 17 points, is the song To Noise Making, open parentheses, sing, close parentheses. My favorite lyrics from the song, it comes from the pre-chorus. "You don't have to sing it right, who could call you wrong? You put your emptiness to melody, your awful heart to song. You don't have to sing it nice, but honey, sing it strong. At best you'll find a little remedy, at worst the world will sing along." I think those are some absolutely beautiful, genius, super fun lyrics. I'd put that on my body, yeah. Its lyrics earned a 4.5 out of 5. Music was also a 4.5 out of 5. Again, it's a bop. Grooviness was a 5 out of 5. It's an extremely groovy song. Otherworldliness, though, it was only a 1 out of 5. It earned a 2 out of 5 for the Dead in the Woods factor, simply for its pervasive nihilism. I would like to quote a bit from the song which says, "Who could ask to be unbroken or brave again, or honey, hope even on this side of the grave again?" So it may not insinuate dead in the woods, however, I believe that justifies a 2 out of 5. Number 11 is Almost, open parentheses, sweet music, close parentheses, with 17.5 points. In my opinion, musically and topic-wise, it's a very similar song to Noise Making. It makes sense that they would be very similar in the rankings. However, this one did earn a bit of an extra point for a very special reason, which you will soon find out. When Hozier talks about the song in interviews, he always describes it as a song that describes what music brings to memory and what memory brings to music. The song starts out very strong with the lyrics, "I came in from the outside, burned out from a joyride. She likes to roll here in my ashes anyway," which is amazing. But my favorite lyric in the song, "The same kind of music haunts her bedroom. I'm almost me again. She's almost you." I have two theories for that lyric. Number one, this may be him remembering a past relationship where his new woman reminds him of his former flame. Or could mean that the music has brought his partner back to the person she once was. I prefer to think of it that way because it's less skeezy, but either way, it's an absolutely genius lyric. For this song, I gave lyrics a 5 out of 5, music a 4.5 out of 5, grooviness a 4 out of 5, otherworldliness was only a 1 out of 5, Dead in the Woods was only a 2 out of 5, however, it did gain 1 point for mentioning my last name, Ellington. So that's why it's in the rankings right there. We've made it to the top 10. Coming in at number 10 is also the title of his newest EP, and that is Nina Cried Power. Mavis Staples features in the song. Hozier himself said the song started as a tongue-in-cheek inquiry into modern popular language regarding political awareness and grew from there, which makes sense if you listen to these lyrics. It's not the shade we should be past it, it's the light and the obstacle that casts it. It's the heat that drives the light, it's the fire it ignites, it's not the waking, it's the rising. And obviously, not the shade refers to what I'm assuming is throwing shade. And it's not the waking, it's the rising I take to refer to. It's not about being woke, it's about rising up. Wow, fantastic. So on the scale, obviously lyrics get a 5 out of 5, music is also a 5 out of 5. Grooviness with the background singers and the overall character of the song also gets a 5 out of 5. The otherworldliness is only a 1 out of 5, and the Dead in the Woods factor is also only a 1 out of 5. However, the song did earn 1 point for Mavis Staples. Coming in at number 9 is Dinner and Diatribes. When Hozier announced that this song came out, he tweeted something along the lines of, "Suffer my carefree bops." I think we must inform him that it is in fact a banger. He describes this as a song written about the crushing tedium of social obligations, and as someone who's standing in front of her camera alone while her friends are outside talking, I absolutely understand that. And let me tell you, at every point he described this song to us, he emphasized the desire to not have to engage in social obligations, but he never emphasized the maximum horniness that is imbued into this song. For example, the entire chorus is him saying, "That's the kind of love I've been dreaming of." For this song, I would give the lyrics a 4.5 out of 5, music a 5 out of 5, grooviness a 5 out of 5, otherworldliness a 3 out of 5, and Dead in the Woods a 2 out of 5. However, I've given it plus 1 point for maximum horniness. Number 8 is the titular song of the album, and that is Wasteland Baby. I think that compared to his other album, it would be most comparable to Like Real People Do, which is in its own right, a fantastic song. I was very surprised by the mellowness of the song, considering it has an actual exclamation mark in it. I think he deserves props for using indelible in a song. Why study for your SATs when you could just listen to Hozier's discography instead? My favorite lyric is, I believe, the first lyric of the song, and it is, "All the fear and the fire of the end of the world happens each time a boy falls in love with a girl." Amazing. For the lyrics, I'll give it a 4.5 out of 5. Music is a 4 out of 5. Grooviness is only a 3 out of 5. However, otherworldliness is a 4 out of 5. And Dead in the Woods is a 4.5 out of 5. You know, because it's about the apocalypse. And I've given it plus 1 point for being a contender to play as the first song at my wedding, if I ever get married. Number 7 is the song Would That I. "So in awe there I stood as you licked off the grain. Though I've handled the wood, I still worship the flame. Long as amber of ember glows, all the wood that I've loved is long ago." And my theory behind that lyric is, this entire song is just yet another elaborate dick joke. "I'm looking at you." Moment silence. I do have a quote that he used to describe this song on my phone. It's about somebody characterizing all of their past romances, people that they cared for, as trees they took shelter under, and describing a would-be jealous lover as a fire that ultimately burns that wood. But there's a weirdly elaborate pun in it. Would that I is like a way of saying, I wish I did. It's a pun on all the wood that I've loved. Interesting. I have given it a 4.5 out of 5 for lyrics, mostly due to that magnificent pun. I've given it a 5 out of 5 on music. It's really good. 5 out of 5 on grooviness as well. 3 out of 5 on otherworldliness. It's still focused very much in our world. But I've given it a 5 out of 5 on Dead in the Woods factor, as he's comparing his loved ones to trees and then talking about burning them. So I feel like that would be the definition of Dead in the Woods. So, the next song coming in at number 6 is B. I think it belongs on this very funny Spotify playlist I found one time. Right here. It has a lot of religious overtones, classic Hozier. I personally think that he's talking about how the earth is dying and how humanity is trash. For lyrics, I would give it a 5 out of 5. For music, I would give it a 4.5 out of 5. Grooviness, it gets a 5 out of 5. Otherworldliness gets a 4 out of 5. And Dead in the Woods gets a 3.5 out of 5. However, I've given it plus 1 point for throwing all the shade on Trump in all of verse 2. And that is B with 23 points. Coming in at number 5 is Movement with 23.5 points. I think the coolest part of this song is the inclusion of your S. Palunin Leapin in reference to Sergei Palunin. So he included him as a lyric and then had him star in the music video, which is absolutely fantastic. So if you haven't seen it, you absolutely need to. And the ending of the song with the choir and the thing. For lyrics, I've given it a 5 out of 5. For music, also 5 out of 5. Grooviness, guess what? 5 out of 5. Otherworldliness, 3.5. It is still in this plane of existence, in my opinion. Dead in the Woods factor is at a 4. And I'm giving it plus 1 point for having the best music video ever. Number 4 on the list is No Plan with 24 points. As we approach this song, we're getting into what I believe are some of the absolute best songs on the album. A really cool lyric in the song is, as Mac explained, there will be darkness again, and he's referring to Katie Mac, an astrophysicist who talks about how the universe is eventually going to fade out and die, which is amazing. Great person to quote for a song. Because I've obviously given lyrics a 5 out of 5. Music is also a 5 out of 5. Grooviness is also a 5 out of 5. Otherworldliness is a 4.5 out of 5. And Dead in the Woods factor is also a 4.5 out of 5. Hard to beat, but it can be. We've reached our top 3. And to add even more drama to the mix, number 3 and number 2 are a tie between Sunlight and As It Was. According to my rankings, they have both earned 25.5 points. Admittedly, it's hella dark for a song about sunlight. It's also a bop in its own right. And there's so much power in the song. He mentions even more mythology. There's an Icarus reference. All we love is sunlight, but it is sunlight. And there's something about that that's just, it's so cool, but it's sunlight. Sunlight's never referred to as a but, it's always the most, and I think it's so cool how he referred to it as that. For this song, I've given it a 5 out of 5 for lyrics, 5 out of 5 for music, 5 out of 5 for grooviness, 5 out of 5 for otherworldliness, and a 4.5 out of 5 for Dead in the Woods because he's dying of sun exposure and not of woods. However, I've added 1 point for being the best song for dancing around a fire naked in the middle of the woods. Moving on to the other song tied for second place, which was As It Was, which is so magical and so mysterious and very sexy. And a bit of the music, like the tune of it, low-key reminds me of the Westworld theme song. I don't know if I'm the only one, but it really sounds like the Westworld theme song. This is the song I've been listening to the most. I have not stopped listening to it. But in my opinion, the best part of the song is, I guess it's the outro. And the sights were as stark as my baby, and the cold cut as sharp as my baby, and the nights were as dark as my baby, half as beautiful too. So as for its score, It also earned a 25.5, just like Sunlight. I've given it 5 out of 5 for lyrics, 5 out of 5 for music, 4.5 out of 5 for grooviness, my bad, 4.5 out of 5 for grooviness, 5 out of 5 for otherworldliness, and 5 out of 5 for that dead in the woods factor, and I gave it a +1 point for being my personal favorite song on the album. Okay friends, fellow nerds, we've done it. We've made it to the #1 song on the album as calculated by my extraordinarily scientific metric. If you know the album, you already know what this is, but I think you'd still like to hear my analysis of it. So at 26 points on a 25-point scale, Talk. Talk is so sexy. Listen, I love mythology, especially Greek mythology. Especially Greek mythology about the underworld. And this song just kills it. The first verse talks about the story of Orpheus and Eurydice, which is one of my absolute favorite myths of all time. I'll be the voice that urged Orpheus when her body was found. I'll be the choiceless hope and grief that drove him underground. I'll be the dreadful need in the devotee that made him turn around. And I'll be the immediate forgiveness in Eurydice. Imagine being loved by me. And also he rhymed devotee with Eurydice, which is next level. It gets 5 out of 5 for lyrics, 5 out of 5 for music, 5 out of 5 for grooviness, 5 out of 5 for otherworldliness, 5 out of 5 for dead in the woods factor, and +1 for Orpheus and Eurydice. That is my entire elaborate ranking of Hozier's Wasteland Baby album. If you enjoyed my commentary, like, subscribe, let me know if you want any more videos like this. Thank you for visiting my channel, and I'll see you next time.